OpenAI is building a camera-powered smart speaker that can see you, recognize you, and potentially become the first thing you talk to every single day, and this is not a rumor anymore. This is a real consumer device with a real $200 to $300 price target, a projected release window around early 2027, and an Apple-level design team shaping every detail. And if this works, it won't just be another smart speaker. It could completely change how we search, shop, decide, and even think inside our own homes. Let's break this down. For years, smart speakers from companies like Amazon and Google have basically done the same thing. Wait for a keyword, respond to a command, occasionally mess up, repeat. They were reactive, static, limited. OpenAI's device flips that model. This speaker includes a built-in camera, and the camera is the entire point. It's not just listening, it's observing. It can see what's on your table. It can recognize who is in the room. It can detect patterns in your environment. Over time, that visual layer gives the AI continuous context, and context is power. Instead of just answering questions, the system can understand routines, shifts in behavior, maybe even emotional cues. Late nights before a big meeting, it notices different people in the house. It adapts. Your buying habits changing. It connects the dots. Here's the real question. What happens when the AI doesn't wait for instructions anymore? That's the shift from command response interaction to contextual awareness. The device isn't passive. It learns patterns and adjusts in real time. That's a massive leap from today's smart speakers. Now let's talk about the most strategic feature, face-based purchasing. The speaker reportedly supports facial recognition similar to Face ID. You glance at it. You approve a purchase, done, and this plugs directly into Chat's built-in shopping experience where users can browse products, compare options, and complete transactions inside a conversation. Think about that. Search engines have dominated intent discovery for decades. E-commerce platforms control product placement and checkout funnels. OpenAI is positioning itself one step earlier at the exact moment preferences form. If buying decisions start inside an AI conversation in your living room instead of a search bar, that changes where influence lives. That changes where money flows. That changes the internet's power structure. And that's just shopping. Internally, this device is framed less like a smart speaker and more like an AI Butler hub. Because it observes continuously, it can infer patterns, irregular sleep cycles, stress before events, changes in daily routine. It moves closer to companionship than automation. That's powerful. It's also controversial. A phone camera feels controlled because you pick it up intentionally. A stationary device with continuous perception feels ambient, and ambient perception creates a completely different trust dynamic. OpenAI reportedly has a dedicated engineering lead focused solely on device-level privacy. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Public adoption won't depend on features. It will depend on trust. Would you put a camera-powered AI in your living room? That's the real experiment. Now, let's talk about who's building this thing. The design firm LoveFrom, founded by legendary Apple designer Jony, is deeply involved. Ive isn't officially employed by OpenAI, but he reportedly has final authority on design decisions and appears regularly at their San Francisco office. Internally, teams reportedly ask, "What would Jony want?" That tells you everything. And the hardware roster reads like a concentrated extraction of Apple's elite talent. Tang Tan, who spent 25 years at Apple leading product design for iPhone and Apple Watch, is involved. Evans Hankey, who succeeded Ive at Apple, now leads industrial design. Supply chain leadership also comes from Apple's ecosystem. This isn't a startup hacking together a gadget. This is a calculated, long-term hardware strategy. And the hardware team operates separately from OpenAI's Mission Bay headquarters, working near Jackson Square in San Francisco, close to LoveFrom. That physical separation reinforces something important. This isn't software speed. This is hardware patience. Slow iteration, obsessive refinement, secrecy, classic Apple playbook. But why move into hardware at all? Because software alone isn't enough. OpenAI's annualized revenue is reportedly around $20 billion. The next challenge isn't making AI smarter. It's making AI infrastructure. Something ambient, something persistent, something that lives with you. Phones are powerful, but they're limited. Ecosystems are locked down. And the form factor isn't ideal for an AI designed to be continuously aware. So the roadmap expands. Smart speaker first, then smart glasses, reportedly targeting mass production around 2028, roughly aligning with timelines rumored for Meta and Apple. There are prototypes of smart lights, eye-focused earphones internally nicknamed projects like Dime, even a pocket-sized device hinted at publicly. This is not one product. It's an ecosystem strategy. Manufacturing partnerships confirm the seriousness. Luxshare Precision, known for assembling products like AirPods and iPhones, has reportedly secured assembly contracts for at least one OpenAI device. Goertek, which manufactures components for products like the HomePod and Apple Watch, is in discussions to supply speaker modules. These are the same factories behind the most successful consumer electronics in the world. Apple reportedly reacted by tightening internal controls and holding closed-door meetings in China to reduce executive leaks. That tells you something. Competition at the interface layer is heating up fast. And this urgency makes more sense when you look at what Sam Altman has been saying publicly. He recently described AI progress as faster than even he expected. 6 years ago, models struggled with basic math. A year ago, they handled high school-level problems. Recently, OpenAI systems reportedly solved multiple previously unsolved research-level math problems. That's a shift from competence to discovery. Altman believes general intelligence is closer than people assume. He frames AI as a global power issue, not just a tech race. He has also pushed back against exaggerated claims about per-query water and energy usage, calling them detached from reality. And when asked what he would never ask Chat, he said he wouldn't ask it how to be happy. That's revealing, because this entire hardware push is about proximity. If AI sits in your home, sees your environment, recognizes your face, suggests your purchases, nudges your routines, then it becomes more than a tool. It becomes an interface to reality. And whoever owns that interface owns the next era of computing. So here's the big hook. This isn't about a smart speaker. It's about who becomes the first thing you consult before making decisions. If OpenAI succeeds, buying decisions might start in your living room instead of a search engine. Advice might come from a device instead of a browser. Daily routines might be shaped by contextual nudges instead of notifications. That is a fundamental shift. The real question isn't whether the tech will work. The real question is whether people are ready. Are you ready to let an AI see your home if it promises better decisions, smarter purchases, and optimized routines? Because 2027 isn't that far away, and the race for your living room has officially started. If you want real, no-hype updates on where AI is actually going next, make sure you're locked in. This next phase is going to move fast.